Hello, empowered woman. Welcome to this episode of the Empowered Woman podcast. Today, I'm going to be talking about resentment and how holding on to it is exactly what's keeping your success away. Resentment towards others and yourself, and what to do about it, because knowledge is not enough. Knowledge is not power, it's potential power. Are you ready? Let's dive in. Welcome back to the Empowered Woman podcast, the #1 show on personal development for women entrepreneurs. If you're wanting to stop spinning your wheels, trying random personal development resources, and actually boost your confidence to show up fearlessly in your life and business, this is the place for you. I am so glad that you're here. My name is Marta Spurk, and I'm your host, triplet mom, woman empowerment coach, and all things motivation extraordinaire. Welcome again. Let's dive into today's episode. Recently, I started sharing a little bit more in detail about the growth of my business, about my income, being super vulnerable and upfront about my struggles. I think I have been doing this for a while, but not necessarily business-wise. And I know that the pandemic has had a huge part in this, into making me more honest with myself and more vulnerable. And it's also consequently, not coincidentally, created one of my most, I keep correcting myself, my most productive and lucrative year in my coaching business. And I know it has everything to do with my self-awareness, my degree of self-awareness, and really stripping myself away from all my BS and staring my weaknesses in the face and unpeeling the layers, everything that I've been talking about in the last couple months. And it's really allowed me to look back, and essentially this is what I've been teaching inside the Empowered Woman School. This is what the Empowered Woman's Path is. It's things that I have been teaching for the last 4 years, but a lot more fine-tuned, and those things are the very steps that I have taken. It's me reaching certain points in my life, then looking back and being like, ooh, what exactly did I do? Can I pinpoint specific things and then share this with women so that essentially my experience becomes their shortcut, becomes this very defined path that they can walk on so that they get there faster. This is what I want for you. I want you to experience this growth and this fulfillment that I have been experiencing, especially in such a crazy year, because I know lots of people are struggling. That's not to say it's been easy for me. It has not, but it's amazing that in this struggle, I have found my strength, and it's been an amazing year. And while it's so tempting to just say, well, it takes time. I've been doing this for 4 years, so my time has come. Yes, time does help. But what I have realized is that the more I take the time to look within, the faster things start happening, because it's all inside of us. The potential, the power, the ability, the gifts, it's not outside of ourselves. Yes, we need mentors and people and tools to get those things out, but ultimately, it's the work that gets them out. It's putting them in practice that gets them out. And that's the reason why I said what I said in the intro about knowledge not being power, knowledge being potential power. And this is actually a concept that I learned from one of my very first mentors when I started my coaching business years ago. And I really thought I understood it. Yeah, it makes sense. But like many things we hear over and over again, it takes a while to sink in. And going back to what I just said, not because things take time. The old saying, time heals everything. It takes time to heal the wounds and all the things. And yeah, it is true. Time goes by and we can forget, we can make peace with certain things, but I believe we can expedite the process if we are very, very intentional. And the truth that I've found is that things only take the amount of time that you take to learn the lessons from your failures. And I want to reframe that and rephrase that as challenges and not failures. Because I don't even think I believe in failures anymore. They're all stepping stones. You're exactly where you're supposed to be. You couldn't have been anywhere else because those were the decisions that you've made. They've made who you are. So embrace them, right? Find the silver lining. Just go back several episodes and you will hear me saying these things. And my goodness, how about coming full circle and seeing the fruits of all the things that I have been doing and working on within. I really see that we all know a lot. We all know a lot. And especially this year, as I've become a part of a huge community called Tribe, which is the community that has been helping me grow and scale my membership, I've been seeing that so many entrepreneurs are a part of similar circles. They invest in so many programs and in so many coaches, and I'm going to get to that in a minute in more depth. But just to say that at times this journey feels so lonely, like we're the only one making mistakes, like we're the only one, quote unquote, failing. And once you come together and you start connecting with people and really hearing their stories, if they're vulnerable enough to share, which I have found in the Tribe community, a lot of vulnerability, I've been seeing how we are very much alike and we've learned a lot of strategies along the way. But what makes the difference between the ones that make the bigger strides are the ones that actually learn to implement all the things that they have learned. So as an entrepreneur, if you've been doing this for a while, I am sure you have so much knowledge. But putting this knowledge into practice is a whole different story, and that's what sets you apart. And it takes me back to even what Dana Malstaff said in our episode, is that our struggles are not unique. What we make out of our struggles is what makes us unique. And that is so true. You know, we sit here and we think, wow, I'm trying to sell courses, no one's buying. People compliment my stuff and no one's buying. And you think you're the only one because you look at other people, the highlight reel, right, of other entrepreneurs' feeds, and you're thinking everyone's super successful and you're not. What's wrong with me? What's wrong with the world? What's wrong with the people that are complimenting my work and not buying? And the difference really is in the time you take to implement the things that you already know and take those risks and potentially even make a fool of yourself, but they are all learning experiences and not failures. So how many things do you know you need to improve, that you need to do to improve your situation, and yet you can't seem to bring yourself to do it? That's what I'm talking about. We have so much knowledge, but if you're not doing anything with it, then what good does that do? And then we feel resentful that those tools are not working for us. So if you answer this question and you thought about my question, I'm going to ask it again. How many things do you know you need to do to improve your situation, and yet you can't seem to bring yourself to do it? If you resonate with this, then my friend, you are not lacking in knowledge. You're lacking in self-awareness to understand why and how you're stopping yourself. Because at this point, it's not your mentor's fault. It's not the tool's fault. It's not the economy's fault. And this is what I've said over and over again, that empowerment means to me. It's taking full responsibility for my happiness, for my success, and for my results. And if the problem is not outside of me, which I'm sure there are problems outside of us and circumstances we can control. I mean, talk about 2020 and the pandemic. But always going back to the same thing, broken record here, the only thing you can control is yourself. So if you're not aware of why and how you're stopping yourself, then this is the missing link. And that's where having someone be your mirror is so helpful. Not to teach you a different concept you've never heard of before, which is what I've been experiencing this year. It's not like I'm hearing such novel concepts. Yeah, I mean, you learn new things, of course, because we don't know everything. But how many times did you hear something and you thought you understood it. And then after a while, you were like, oh my gosh, this is exactly what it is. What created that little switch, that shift? And I've talked about mindset shifts in the last couple months and how to create your mindset shifts and how those things happen. And I believe that those switches, what helps you flip that switch in your brain and really cause something to dawn on you, is this inner work, this self-awareness, this understanding the lies you're telling yourself, how you're stopping yourself. And this can be intentional. You don't have to wait for it to happen. It's not a mysterious, mystical, obscure thing that nobody knows how to do. Because otherwise, how would other people reach success? You just have to wait 10 years? That's the amount of time? That's what you have to hold on to? That's not true. Look at other people's journeys. So what really made the difference? Of course, individually, there are specific things. But everything that I have been doing in my work, especially this year with the Empowered Woman's Path, is help you intentionally find what that is for you and do it over and over again and work on it over and over again. But it's such an individual process. And this is really what I have come to realize is my specialty, is reminding you of what you already know, or what you may already know, but through the eyes of self-love and self-acceptance. And that really is what makes a difference. That is what helps you flip that switch and create intentionally that mindset shift that makes you go from just knowing to actually doing it and making it work for you. And this is really what has been going through my head, is that, oh my gosh, I have reached this point where things are picking up, things are working out. And I want to help women that have been in the dark for so long, like I felt that I was for so long. I want to help them find a way out. And I know that the way out is the way in, because this is what I did. And this is what I want to show you. And so let's talk about resentment, right? And how this is one of the things that is holding you back. Because if you've been in this path for a while, like so many entrepreneurs out there, you have learned several tools. You have hired several mentors. But if things are not working out the way you expect them to, then you may be feeling resentful to your mentors, resentful to yourself, because you've invested and you haven't seen a return. And I've asked this question inside the Empowered Women community this week. Have you ever invested in a coach and or in a program and not gotten much or any results from it, and then you resented it? Landslide. Lots of ladies said yes, yes, yes. And to be fair, some of them said, it wasn't, what they were teaching was not in alignment with me. They didn't give me the support. They said I would get results and I never did. So of course, that's not to say that every coach and every program out there is amazing, but stay with me here. I'm speaking from experience. So I've had these thoughts and I've confirmed it by asking in my Facebook group, and lots of ladies said, yes, totally. And I feel like this is even harder when you see other people making huge strides and making money in the same circle as you. You start resenting your peers, resenting the program, the coach, the system, and just wondering what is wrong. I think I'm doing the same exact thing. I mean, I'm learning the same exact thing. Why is it working for them and why is it not working for me? What is happening? And so now looking back at those bitter experiences that I have had of talking crap about coaches and just being honest, things that I paid for and being like, it's not really for me. Like, okay, just coming up with justifications in my head of why it did not work. I started understanding that the problem was not the coach or the program. And again, a little disclaimer, I'm not endorsing all of the coaches in the world and saying all the programs are good. But as I always say, the common denominator is always you. The reason why certain tools, certain programs that you invest money in, that you really believe are going to be it, the reason why those things don't work is most likely because you're not aware of how to make those things work for you. And then you lie awake at night crying. Why? What's wrong with me? Why can't I just make some money already? And I've been surprised as I share this, how many women say, yes, I've been there. I've cried in bed, in the dark. Just wondering, should I just give up? Especially once you start comparing yourself to other people and even friends, other entrepreneurs that you kind of started your journey with and they just take off and you don't. And you're like, man, maybe this is not for me. Maybe I should just go get a job and just give up. And now I see that I just wasn't aware of my own power and how to work with myself instead of against myself. I've understood that most of my life and most of our lives, all of us, we just run from who we are because we think we need to become something else to be successful. We're constantly swimming against the current, and it's just such an effort, right? So hard. And all of it can be so much simpler if you just learn to surrender to yourself. Just think about it. Surrender to yourself. What does that mean to you? That's when things are going to start flowing. And this is what I've created with the Empowered Women's Path. Oh my goodness. This week we had our first official call in the Empowered Women's School with the new members that I welcomed last week. We did a welcome call where everyone introduced themselves. We kind of, went over the breakdown of everything. And then this week we actually had a call where we did the work. We talked about our past. We talked about those hurts, and everybody cried. I cried. And it was just such confirmation that what I am teaching, the path that I have walked to get to where I'm at right now, is this path of surrendering to yourself, of saying, okay, I'm not going to try to hurt you anymore. I'm not going to try to make you be something else. I'm just going to surrender to who you are. And just seeing, those ladies' vulnerabilities and the stories that they've told, things about their past, their upbringing that they even said, I would have never imagined that this was related to my business. But hold on a second. You are you when you're running your business. You are you in your home as a wife, as a mom. You are always you, right? So of course your past and your resentment affects your business. So that's why I want to dedicate this episode to talking about how holding on to this resentment towards yourself for not being farther along and towards past mentors is definitely keeping you stuck. Because forgiveness is gratitude, and gratitude breeds success. And this is really my invitation for today, is to ask you if you really want to learn how to work with yourself so you can see your business flourish. Are you ready to start looking back at those bitter experiences in the past or even right now with the coaches, the programs that you invested in, or the time that's gone by, and understand that all of those times, all of those circumstances and situations have had a purpose. And you couldn't see it at the time because you didn't know how to take advantage of the lesson being taught at the time. But if you take that journey within, you will be able to see the point of all those things. And that's, my friend, when things are going to start taking off. And I'm speaking by my own experience. So I hope this makes sense to you, how those feelings and your lack of self-awareness are really holding you back, and how just knowing several tools and strategies is not enough. You have to do something about it. So my invitation to do something about it really is for you to have a chat with me. Not only you can access the Empowered Woman's Path program, which I'll link here in the show notes. Lots of ladies have been asking me about that, and even asking, honestly, how is this course going to help me figure out how I'm stopping myself? And it's exactly because it's this unpeeling process that I've been sharing in the last couple months. But then my other invitation is for you to book a call with me. No strings attached, 30 minutes, and we chat about you, your personality type, your struggles right now with your business, and talk about how this process of becoming extremely honest with yourself is what's missing for you to grow your business. So book a call with me. I have a few spots till the end of the month, and taking new one-on-one clients to really take a deep dive in this work and make changes. Really see where the changes need to be made, because like I said, most times we think we need to change ourselves entirely into something else, and that's not even it. What exactly needs to be changed? It takes taking that journey within to really find out. So this is what I got for you today. Go book a call with me. All the links are in the show notes. Until next time, bye.